You're tuned to Russ, McClellan and Friends on the Real Estate Show Home Sweet Home. Let's get back to Russ.
Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ, McClellan and Friends. And I have one of those knowledgeable real estate brokers at Keller Williams, and she really is knowledgeable. And it's great. Emily Ostrom, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Okay, you've been in full-time real estate, you said, since April of 2019.
Yes.
How'd you get so smart?
I worked at it, I guess. I listened to my clients. I've got clients on both sides of the spectrum. I try to do as much training as possible. I try to read as much as possible, especially about everything that's happening locally. You need to be able to do that to show your clients that you are knowledgeable and you can do this for them. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, being an expert advisor is part of being a fiduciary, right?
Yes.
There's a trusting assumption that you are going to know your industry and your business, and I admire those that do take it seriously. One of the challenges in real estate as a owner of a company and a designated broker is that the state only requires 90 hours. It takes longer to do just about anything than from a state level.
Yeah.
So you don't really know, right? You don't really get out of that and go, oh, I know how to sell real estate.
Yeah, they really just want you to know the laws, the federal laws, the state laws, and then they let you loose. And you get your training from your brokerage, which is one of the best things about Keller Williams. They have a great training program.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You mentioned earlier that whether you're transitioning from a full-time job into real estate where you got to keep that day job for a while, you got kids to feed or whatever you're doing, or you just want to be a referral agent where that means you're working full-time and anybody that comes to you, if you're licensed, you can refer that person to a licensed real estate broker like Emily and get a 25%, usually a 25% referral on the selling or listing side of the equation, which can add up quickly, especially your friends in hospitality.
Yes.
In Lake Chelan, I've said this many, many times. Why doesn't everybody that's working at a hotel, working at a restaurant or a bar, they should all have licenses, right?
Yeah.
Just to refer people to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because everybody that goes to Leavenworth, at some point, they're going to talk about real estate, right? And there's a lot of people that are having cocktails that are saying, man, tomorrow I can't wait to buy on Lake Wenatchee.
Yeah.
Well, if you hear that, you go, hey, I'm in real estate, but here's the person I would work with.
Yeah.
Boom, get a referral. So you take it seriously. What I'm curious about, when you came to Keller Williams, well, you started at Keller Williams, and then you've watched us grow. You went from a very established Keller Williams, have been around a long time.
300 plus agents.
Yeah, right? And then we started with 12.
Yeah.
3 years ago. So here we are, double the size of most real estate companies in North Central Washington. We're definitely the fastest growing, and now we're doing about 45 to 55 transactions a month.
Yeah.
We pay out a lot more than most. We profit share. There's a lot of things, but you hit the nail on the head. Gary Keller, years ago, the founder, said, we're an education and training company that happens to sell real estate.
Yep.
And would you say it's fair to, as an operating partner, that I'm investing more and more into training?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything bad about Keller Williams East Side, but it's such a large brokerage that it was really easy to get lost. And I didn't have, the mentorship that I have with you here. And I think that was one of the major reasons that I came back to Keller Williams on this side.
So a lot of people that are, my dad said this a long time ago, you'll never have arrows in your behind if you're not in the lead, right? So I have a lot of critics that say that there's no way that with as much stuff as he does, Russ McClellan does, that he can help his agents. How would you answer that critic?
I would say that's categorically untrue.
So
I have anecdotal proof that, I could call you at any point and you answer the phone and I get my answer within, 5-10 minutes. That wasn't the case, in my last brokerages. And it really makes me feel supported. And I think that's one of the biggest things about this real estate business, because you can work on your own, you can work in a team, but if you're working on your own, you can be a little isolated, especially in Leavenworth with our office in Wenatchee. I work from home, but being able to have the connection with everybody still is really important.
Yeah, and with Zoom, we're able to do a lot of trainings remotely, so you don't have to come into the office. Although we really do like it because that synergy. I'm a big believer in the world of our future is a hybrid, where we're going to have components of online training and we're going to have components of human to human interaction where we're high-fiving, hugging, and laughing, and
Yeah.
just that synergy is hard to beat for me.
It's definitely a family atmosphere.
Yeah, it really is. And to be fair, as you scale, it is harder, right? So I get it. That's why we're doubling down. And how do you feel like we just hired Sarah Lopman as our productivity coach?
Yeah, that's so exciting. I'm really excited for her, and I think that's just going to help in general overall. She is very knowledgeable. She has such a great attitude towards everything. I mean, everything I see her post is just, she's so bubbly and just so excited about the whole business, and she really wants to help people. So I think it was a great choice.
Yeah, and quite often, which is a normal pattern, right? When you do any startup, and you get some of the heavy lifting out of the way, like we went from 12 to 70 agents, what got you from day one to where you're at is not always the same thing to get you from where you're at to where you want to go.
Right.
And I have some pretty big goals for us.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the growth that we're going to have and what we can do to give back to our community, what we can do to help more people as we gain more and more of our market share, unfair share, I guess, of our market share. But with the mindset, what I love is that at this point in my career, my goal is to help other people get unstuck.
Yep.
And to find their passion. And what I love about Sarah Lopman, you hit it, enthusiasm on steroids with that girl. And what's really cool, she was a single mom of 3 kids and a server at Applebee's.
Yeah.
And now she's a salaried employee, she's a rock star agent. She's just complete freedom, like you talked about.
Yep.
And real estate, the thing is that people often will go to one place. And frankly, I think it's a knock on our business, which is true. For a lot of years, the training was really simple. There's your phone, there's your desk, call your friends and family until you burn out, and I'll be in Hawaii. You just send me the check.
Yeah.
Right? That was kind of the training manual. And that's just not the way to do it, right? And so I'm really passionate about providing the resources to Sarah Lopman and our productivity program. So anybody that's out there listening, you can call literally any one of our brokers. I'll give you the complete roster and their cell phone numbers if you ask me. And call any one of them and they'll talk to you about how open and transparent our culture is. And more than anything, Keller Williams in general, would you say that anybody will help you in any office?
Absolutely. There's a huge referral network. We have Mega Camp and what's the other one?
Family Reunion?
Family
in
Reunion.
February?
Yeah, those are 2 huge events where everyone from all over the country and our international agents gather together. And yes, it's training, but it's a lot of networking. It's a lot of meeting new people. And it just shows you how big the family is, even if it's, not just in your office.
Yeah, 57 countries, 180,000 people. Yeah, it's a pretty big company. What's cool about that, it's a systems and models company. So you learn it in Wenatchee. You get relocated. Maybe your partner got a job in Detroit. Well,
Yeah.
if you're in real estate at Keller Williams, you can just call the Keller Williams in Detroit, and it's the same thing.
Exactly.
And the reason it's the same thing is that they've proven that we can build our businesses on the shoulders of giants that have come before us. We do not have to reinvent the wheel every single day. I think anxiety happens when you wake up in the morning and you have a lot to do, but you don't know where to start.
Yes. Yeah. And then you don't start at all.
Yeah. Yeah, the paralysis through analysis.
Yeah.
And then you go get some bonbons or some whiskey. That's the typical.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been there a lot. So in my career, and it's all normal, right? We all have the same challenges. We all handle them differently, and I've always been a firm believer of how you define yourself has nothing to do with what happens to you. Has a little bit more to do with what you do next.
Yeah. And your integrity.
Yeah, and proactive approach to real estate is so fun. Yeah, so here we sit. Where are we going in this crazy land of real estate? All-time low inventories, all-time low interest rates, all-time high demands. Building prices are through the roof. What's going to happen in the next year, you think?
There's a lot of changes coming up. We don't know exactly when the foreclosure forbearance is going to end. That's going to put a lot of people in a hard spot. Construction is, moving forward now, but, I was told that they're adding $50,000 to the price of every home just for the lumber. And it'll be really interesting to see how it moves forward. I don't think this housing crisis is going to right itself in the next couple of years. I think it's going to take a little bit longer than that, if ever. But we need to find a way to allow people to get into homes. I mean, it's where they live. It's a business for us, but it's so much more than that, because homes there's always going to be homes for sale. There's always going to be people moving. There's always going to be empty nesters who don't need the space that they have, and so it's never going to go away. But there is a challenge right now with how, exactly like you said, how much inventory we have versus the demand.
Yeah, I think you hit on something very important. The foreclosure forbearance program specifically, which means basically you could live in your home and not make the payment, is coming to an end, we think. It's very important to be proactive. If you're a seller and you're in forbearance, don't wait. Yeah. Pick up the phone. We got Michael Maher coming in the next segment with Prime Lending. He was talking to me about a refinance program on certain loans that they could go up to a 65% loan to value to help get you out of the situation if you're in that. The other thing is call one of us, call Emily, and get a market analysis on your home, because what you don't want to do is wait too long and get those big dings on your credit report, or get a foreclosure on your credit report, where now all of a sudden it makes it twice as hard to get into a rental and twice as hard, if not impossible, to buy a house for another year or two. So just be proactive. And if you call Keller Williams, or you can call Emily at 425-922-0317, or email her at emily@emilysells with an S, leavenworth.com. And she'll help you out with that situation. Just get proactive, get that home listed, get it sold, and save your credit.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in.
No problem.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
Be right back with Michael Maher and Prime Lending.
Keller Williams.